Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the work of Dr. Gabor Mate to uncover a really powerful, unconscious belief that honestly shapes so many of our lives. It's a lie we tell ourselves, a lie that often starts in our earliest moments without us ever even knowing it's there.
So let's just jump right in with a question that gets to the absolute heart of this. Have you ever had that feeling, you can accomplish something great, you can get the promotion, you can hit a goal, but there's still that nagging little voice inside that whispers, it's not enough, you're not enough.
Well, according to Dr. Mate, that feeling isn't some personal flaw or a sign that you're weak. Not at all. He says it's actually a deep-seated belief, a story we create for ourselves when we're very, very young, really as a survival strategy to make sense of the world around us.
Okay, so where does a lie this powerful even begin? Well, to get that, we have to kind of reset our whole definition of what trauma actually is.
Now this quote right here is a complete game changer. Think about it. He's saying the trauma isn't the event itself, it's the internal wound, the story we tell ourselves, the meaning we make from it, that's the real injury.
And this lays it out perfectly. The event could be a parent who's always stressed about work, or maybe something much more difficult. But the wound is the conclusion the child draws from that. It's if they're not happy, it must be because of me. I must have done something wrong. I'm not good enough.
And why does this happen? Well, Mate explains that babies are natural narcissists, and he doesn't mean that in a bad way at all. It's just that their entire universe is themselves and their caregivers. So if mom is sad or dad is angry, a baby's brain literally has only one explanation. I caused this.
Now, over time, if that wound doesn't get a chance to heal, it starts to scar over. And just like a real scar, it changes our very fabric. It becomes rigid, so we lose our flexibility and get stuck in the same old reactive patterns. It loses feeling. We disconnect from our emotions just to avoid the pain. And this is a big one. It can actually stop our emotional growth, leaving us stuck reacting like the 5-year-old who first got hurt.
So we've seen how this wound forms and scars over. Now let's get into how that scar starts pulling the strings in our adult lives, most of the time without us having any clue it's happening.
Mate uses this amazing analogy of a puppet master. It's this perfect image for how these old, unhealed parts of us secretly dictate our choices, our relationships, and our emotional reactions today.
I mean, have you ever just completely overreacted to something small, a comment from your partner, an email from your boss, and you thought, whoa, where did that come from? That is what he's talking about. He calls it the tyranny of the past. We're not actually reacting to what's happening now, we're reacting as if we're that little kid all over again. And all that internal pain often drives us toward addiction. But here's the thing, his definition of addiction is incredibly broad. It's not just about substances. It's any behavior we use to soothe ourselves and get some temporary relief, even if we know it's causing us harm in the long run.
So what do these puppet strings look like in real life? Well, they can look like workaholism, that endless drive to prove you're worthy, or compulsive shopping, or sudden anger outbursts. It can even manifest as chronic illness, because our body is trying to tell us something our mind has suppressed. It can even be something as seemingly harmless as people-pleasing.
And here's the real kicker. Our society often rewards these behaviors. We praise the workaholic who never takes a day off. We admire the person who never says no. Mate calls this the myth of normal. This crazy idea that what our culture considers standard is actually healthy or natural for a human being. It's not.
Whew. Okay, so if most of us are puppets to some degree, being jerked around by these invisible strings from our childhood, how on earth do we get free? How do we cut the strings and become real? Well, the whole journey starts with one crucial, powerful step. You don't have to fix your whole life overnight. The very first revolutionary act is just awareness. That moment when you're feeling that huge emotion and you can just pause and think, hang on, this feeling is way bigger than the situation. This isn't about right now. This is an old wound. In that single moment of recognition, the puppet master's grip starts to weaken. The strings go slack.
I love this. Mate says the whole goal is to become a real boy, just like Pinocchio. It's this journey from being a puppet controlled by the past to becoming an authentic human being living freely in the present. And he says this journey of healing really rests on 4 main pillars. There's acceptance, seeing what really happened. Authenticity, having the courage to finally be yourself. Agency, realizing you have the power now to choose how you respond. And even anger, allowing yourself to feel healthy, righteous anger about what happened, because that's part of taking your power back.
And for all of us who like practical steps, he offers this amazing method for actually rewiring those old beliefs. You can relabel the thought. Call it what it is, just an old story. Reattribute it. Connect it back to where it came from in your past. Refocus your brain on something positive to show you're the one in charge now. Revalue it. See just how much that old belief has cost you. And finally, recreate a new, truer way of seeing yourself.
So really, what this whole explainer gives us is a new lens, a way to look at ourselves and our reactions, not with judgment, but with some compassion and a whole lot of curiosity. And it leaves us with this final, really powerful question to think about. What childhood lie has been pulling your strings? And who could you become if you finally decided to cut them?